Tonight, new developments on the coronavirus outbreak. The World Health Organization this afternoon declaring the virus a global emergency as cases skyrocket. You're taking a look at video from Shanghai showing travelers being screened. China's now reported more than 7,800 cases, and that includes 170 deaths. 18 other countries are also reporting cases, including right here in the United States. Now, this comes as the CDC reports the first human-to-human transmission of the coronavirus inside the U.S. The new patient is the husband of the woman who contracted the virus while traveling to Wuhan, China. That's the epicenter of this outbreak. This is now the 6th case confirmed here in the U.S., the second one in Chicago. That wife is in stable condition tonight. Health officials say the threat to the general public is still at this point low. Well, from biomedical weapons to pre-existing vaccines, there is a lot of misinformation spreading quickly on social media related to the coronavirus. Eliza Powell is on your side, debunking the myths and verifying the truth tonight.
The coronavirus is spreading like wildfire, and so are the conspiracies about the virus on social media. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and other social media outlets are trying to contain the spread of misinformation. So what's real and what's fake? Let's verify.
Isn't there a patent for a vaccine for the virus? This one gets confusing. Facebook posts, tweets, and articles have spread on social media saying the new virus is related to an expired patent, claiming a vaccine already exists. Australian scientists say they have isolated and grown a sample of the new virus in a lab. That's a first step toward improved diagnosis and treatment of the infection. But there is no vaccine for this strain. The Parabright Institute in Surrey did create a patent in 2015 for a vaccine for a different strain of the coronavirus infecting poultry. The institute recently stated it currently doesn't work on human coronaviruses. But if you do contract the coronavirus, it doesn't mean it's a death sentence. We can verify that's true. Though the total number of deaths from the coronavirus is 170, a total of 133 people have recovered worldwide. People in the U.S. are also being treated right now. Doctors report the man with the first confirmed case in Washington state is in stable condition. But another conspiracy about the spread of the virus has surfaced online, that the coronavirus is a leaked biomedical weapon. That's false. Tweets and YouTube videos claim the virus was smuggled out of a Canadian lab in Winnipeg to China. There is no evidence to support this. In 2013, the lab in question investigated a group of coronavirus infections linked to Middle East respiratory syndrome. But can't you be cured by drinking bleach? Absolutely not. QAnon supporters are advocating miracle mineral solution used in bleach can fight off the virus. The FDA states MMS is not approved by the administration for ingestion. It is incredibly dangerous to drink bleach.
In an effort to contain the spread of conspiracies and false information, Twitter is directing all coronavirus searches to the CDC's Twitter page. Facebook and YouTube have also changed their algorithms to prioritize more credible sources in search requests. Eliza Powell, First Coast News, on your side.
Thank you, Eliza. And if there's something you would like our team to verify, just send an email to verify@firstcoastnews.com.